Message from Jesus: if a person feels threatened in any way, a person sees his life endangered, fears arise. This survival impulse is an instinct given by God so that you respect, preserve, and guard your life. That's why the fear of death is also programmed into your cells. This program is only deleted when a person has entered the corridor of transition, then when his soul is ready and has let go of a human existence. Anyone who no longer has any fears is either an ignorant or is a Buddha. Ignorant or Buddha. Full of fears. JJK, this will probably be a longer conversation. I've been full of fears for about a week. I worry about my family, about the publishing house, about my health. The ravages of time also gnaw on me: wrinkles, skin changes, teeth, the mobility decreases, the hair is now really white. In the end, it is probably the fear of an unfinished life and death that drives me. For about a week it has been as intense as it has not been for a long time, and it was yesterday evening it's all over. As if a lock had come loose, it was all over. In the afternoon I had another strange experience, but this has also happened to me repeatedly. I'm in Vienna walking down a street when a young man suddenly builds up in front of me out of nowhere and insults me. A whole cascade of swear words full of aggression was dropped on me. I went on and thought about what this meant. Yes, and that's also my question: what's all this about? Jesus, I am with you and I am with all the people who turn to me with confidence. Where your light needs reinforcement to come into its own, I'm on the spot. Verily, every person is in my care and every person is dedicated to the love of God. What happened and what happened to you, John? Task of a medium: the most difficult task for a medium is to sort the incoming energies, to separate the wheat from the chaff, to process and integrate it. Preparing accurately for this work is of great importance, and you have been prepared and you are prepared. Then why all this? Because you always immerse yourself in the most diverse collective fears and have to immerse themselves. Because only in this way can you receive messages for the people who are very real in their fear scenarios and channel them in such a way that they are a help for those affected. Sometimes your own topics come to the surface, you are triggered, and then it feels like last week. The work as a channel is multi-layered, and very few people can imagine which energies a person who performs this task is surrounded by and what forces he has to deal with. JJK, not a piece joy egg cake job, right? Jesus, a work that completely demands a person and that demands everything from him, especially in this time, in which so many different energy fields overlap, and penetrate. Here things like to get confused, and at the end of the day or at the end of a week the right assignments have to be found again. You have been prepared for this and are constantly trained for this. JJK, but why the madman who yelled at me? It has happened to me several times in this way, that suddenly someone appeared out of nowhere and wanted to kill me. Yesterday, the obviously crazy one became almost tangible. Jesus, the reason is your presence. Whenever you switch to a new vibration plane, that is, when your light factor is raised because a transformation process is complete, it is possible that such attacks will happen. Why? Since the new status is not yet locked and sealed. In this transition phase of an energetically freshly operated person, the goal is to get you out of the middle and unsettle you. Finally you feel comfortable with yourself and life again, finally you have the insight again, and then that. People who meet you in this way suffer from dark occupations, and a concentrated load of malice jumps towards you. Here, forces of the cold light want to destabilize you, unsettle you, and sometimes simply spoil your day. These attacks are still possible because the vibration planes touch. As long as several Earths, that is, as long as the different timelines still touch and populate light and light entities of this Earth, this is possible and also likely. What does that do to you? JJK, somehow I'm confused at first and then I can get rid of it quickly. I think it makes me stronger and also more alert in any case. I never feel in any way offended or hurt inside. Jesus, your ego no longer feels attacked, so this is possible, and this is the most valuable preparation for work for any medium, and at the same time the most valuable quality for the success of a human life. Is the best still coming? JJK, you know, Sometimes I have such thoughts about how long I will do that, something else is waiting for me, or have I perhaps fulfilled soon what I have come to do. I commute between the best is yet to come, and that's it. Jesus, the most beautiful and important part of your work is still ahead of you. You are important for your family, for the publisher, and for the people who find your valuable work in increasing numbers. God calls you off when the time comes, and this time has truly not yet come. All physical changes are natural processes, but they occur slowly, and some things are also stopped. Methods of renewing cells exist, and they will also provide you with valuable services. Everything moves so that man ages healthy and ages rejuvenated. Combining age with illness is a big mistake. This error is now recognized, and corresponding remedies will prevail. JJK, what keeps me busy is fear. It is often said, get out of fear, or many people say again and again, I am not afraid of nothing and of no one. I can't claim that for myself. I always have fears, even though I trust God and know that my life is also safe in the hands of the Creator. I never have doubts about it, but fears, as described at the beginning, are already there. Who is not afraid? Jesus, you have fears because you are looking. You look at the state of the world and the constitution of the people. You can see how filigree some things are and how quickly fate can destroy some things. You live in this world that is emerging and on which the decisive battle for supremacy between light and shadow is now raging. You not only know the bright potentials because you are equipped with negative experiences as well as with positive developments from many epochs. You carry this cellular, planetary, and universal memory within you. You look and can perceive and meet derivatives. This can also evoke fears. However, you go through these fears, you master them, and therefore do not let yourself be dissuaded from your course. It makes a difference whether you are not afraid because you simply do not perceive many things, or whether you walk through the world with your eyes open and have to see again and again what is wrong in this world. If you don't only look at the sky and sunshine, but see how it can darken, fears are never foreign to you. It is important to understand that the cellular memory of man is completely focused on life and survival. Every human cell wants to live, be alive. This is the nature of every human being. If a person feels threatened in any way, a person sees his life endangered, fears arise. This survival impulse is an instinct given by God so that you respect, preserve, and guard your life. That's why the fear of death is also programmed into your cells. This program is only deleted when a person has entered the corridor of transition, then when his soul is ready and has let go of a human existence. Anyone who no longer has any fears is either an ignorant or is a Buddha. JJK, fear can also save you from harm, namely if you take precautions in good time due to an apparent danger. Jesus, this is the natural functioning of fear. Fears belong there, and that's their place. As long as fear serves you, it is a valuable companion, but if fear drives you and deters you from life, paralyzes you and negatively aligns you, something has to be changed. Just let God do it. JJK, often I think to myself to just take life the way it comes, not to want to explain everything, neither myself, nor to others, not to have to understand or want to know everything, simply to live and let God do it. Jesus, if you have created space internally for this attitude, it is easy for you to shape your life in this way. If all the thought waste has been disposed of and the emotional wounds have healed to a certain degree, then this is the logical consequence. To live simply means to have removed the obstacles that the ego has put in your way. This is the mastery, this is the linchpin of every human existence, to let God do. And to let God do it is only possible if your divine being has taken the place of the will of the ego. The truth or seen. JJK, one more question about the so-called truth or seen. Isn't it also the case that a lot of fears are spread here? Days ago I saw a video in which a spiritual teacher pointed it out. It is probably a rather narrow line between necessary enlightenment and the stirring up of new fears, right? Jesus, what is to come to light must come to light. This is indispensable for the reprocessing and healing. However, what is also too little respected in the scene you mentioned is to focus on the bright events. This negative side needs to be corrected. To uncover the one is and is indispensable, but to raise people, to make them aware of positive developments with the appropriate weighting, is the other aspect. This is currently still underrepresented, but will be given more and more space and more importance in the future. Don't worry, then it will also be taken care of. Take your life into your hands and live it with God. That's what is important now for the light warriors, who have been tested in epochs and trained in many lives. At the center is God, and at the center is you with God. This concludes our conversation today. It is taken care of everything and for every person. From the beginning to the end, in the finity and in the infinity of God. Message after the embassy JJK, suspicious timing. Because just when this conversation ended and I had finished the message, my brother Karl calls me and tells me that his car has a Platen for all German readers. Fortunately there was no danger for Karl, but in any case the car has to go to the workshop. It all fits together. About 10 days ago the sheet metal damage due to third-party fault with hit and run in my wife's parked car, and now a tire damage at Carl Jesus. This is how destructively charged energy that has moved in your environment behaves. Because it was impossible for you, she looked for another way to unload and found it in the respective cars. As long as the most diverse forces act on earth and act on people, this is a part of life. This is the message after the message.